Hi everyone, today I'm going to be painting some marshland, and I've already marked out where the the horizon is going to be, and I've done a fairly intense drawing with an HB pencil to show where my land masses will be and where the tree line will be. So I'm wetting down the sky with clean water, and then what I'm going to do is going to take some yellow ochre, and I don't want it too intense, I just want it sort of tinting the middle like that. And then what I'm going to do is take some alizarin crimson and just put it across the sky like that, even going into some of the yellow ochre. I don't want it too intense, maybe a bit more intense than that, so it shows up. And then what I'm going to do is take some ultramarine blue and put it across the sky. Vary the intensity a little bit. And then wipe some of the excess off, go back in with a bit more alizarin crimson, and just give it a touch up here and there. Now that's going to dry fairly lightly, the sky, so I want to intensify the ultramarine blue a bit more because I don't want it disappearing completely. Like that. The idea is to have the sky sort of reflecting into the water. And now what I'm going to do is take some burnt sienna and a little bit of black. I was tested on a scrap piece of watercolor paper, and now what I'm going to do is just put a line of trees along here, but I don't want it too intense. Just a line of trees all the way. Maybe have it a little higher up here. And they go all the way across there. We can darken a few areas. And we can still sort of bring it down into the water. Just to create a reflection along here, and then we can darken some of the bases of the trees again. And then we take our card and hopefully we can scrape out some trunks from the distance. And now what we'll do is take the same mix that we have in here and just sweep across here. This is the land mass that we're going to be covering. And as I said, I've done the drawing already, and I'm going to do it here as well. I'm not sticking to the drawing, I just want it as a sort of a guideline. What we want is to darken some of the distant ones a bit more, distant headland a little bit more. So we want to put that in along there. Add some yellow ochre. You know, just play around with the colors, because this is an imaginary scene. Actually, it's not. There's no reference picture for it, so I can pretty much add whatever I want to it, and hopefully it won't look wrong because I'm not comparing it to anything. And then we can add a bit of blue to that as well. Just whatever colors we can get hold of. We can wipe that off there and go back in with a bit of shadow work there. Reflections there, and we can go in with this burnt sienna. I want to keep this area light for a reason. Now I want to add a bit of color to it, so what I'm going to do is take some deep green and just add a bit of color to this by just a little bit of burnt sienna to it, and just add a bit of color to that. Now I know marshlands tend not to have, they do have color in them, I think, but this is a weird marshland. And now I'm going to take the rigger and using the same mix of burnt sienna mixes I have, and just add some protruding sort of land masses here. Not even masses, little things popping up in the water. And this is my number 2 rigger. Again, put random marks in. Could be just things popping up. Like that. Just popping up like this out of the water. and then you can darken the bases. Yeah, it's looking ugly, I think, this painting, but maybe not. I don't know. We can just, I'm going to use the rigger to add a bit more detail to this. Now I'm going to go back in with the rigger and with a mixture of, and let's use burnt sienna since we've already got it, and we're going to add black to that. Add a bit of water. I'm just going to add a couple of, just a few trees along here. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I have another tutorial where I'm painting trees like this, and I'll link that in the description so you can have a look at how I painted trees. How to paint a simple tree, a winter tree like this. But it's pretty much the same technique I'm using here. It's actually the same technique I'm using here. Add more detail to the trees if you like, because they are winter trees after all, and you might see a lot of branches and twigs and things, so you can do that. So what I'm going to do with the side of the brush, with whatever is left on there, is just my brush technique on the side of the brush. You don't have to pick up any more paint if you don't want. You don't need to, because just doing this motion, the hit and miss action of the paint gives the impression that there are twigs on the trees, and not the ends, the bare twigs. And we can just add a few more. Now what I want to do is just darken some of the areas here. And just along there with the rigger. And what we can do is, whatever paint's left, the green paint, I want to add grasses to that. There might be grass growing out of it, and even along here. Put a bit of texture. And we can add a bit of texture. We can add a bit of colour to that as well. Dry some of it off. We can add some reeds here. Well, I don't know what they're called, but they have these little sort of bobbles at the end of it. So let's just try this and see how it comes out. So we're gonna. I think the color needs to be a little bit darker here. So let's try that again. And oh, that's not coming out very well, is it? Huh? Crazy. It's the wrong color. I have nothing to lean on. I'm standing here. Unfortunately, that's making it more difficult because I have nothing to lean on. My arm's not leaning on anything, so that's also very, very difficult when you're trying to get some detail in there. It's going to be a mess, I think. Not very happy with this at all. See, I can't even, because I can't lean on anything. I can't sit down. Annoying. One of the challenges if you don't have a space to work. And I'm putting reflections in of the land at the bottom, around here. Now I'm darkening the edges along here a bit more. Same with the rigger. Just darken that more. Now what I'm going to do is let everything dry, and I'm going to now put in some birds up in the top here, but different types of birds. Now you'll see in a minute, but I'm going to speed that part up. What I'm going to do is draw in some swirling birds, murmurations as you might call them, but very, very simple. I'm not going to try and make it too complicated. Okay, for the birds, what I'm going to do is, and what I want to do is draw a quick sort of outline of what I'm sort of looking at. sort of like that. Now I noticed that there's something needs to be added to the painting before we continue. So I'm just going to take my brush and just put that there. Now this may dry lighter again, so we can just go back in and do it again. So it's not going to interfere with the painting. So I'm going to take the thin side of a marker pen . Now I'm going to just put a little bit of sort of a slight reflection in the water of these birds. Just a little bit, not too much. Just a little bit. I don't want to sort of overpower what's happening. I want it to look like there is a reflection here. I'm using a dark grey for the water and black for the sky ones. And now I'm just going to go back in with my Hake and just darken these one more time. Just along here. Yes, so here we are, our marshland sort of picture with a swirling flock of starlings, I think they're called. I hope you enjoyed that. Do consider subscribing if you did. Give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to leave that valuable comment. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much.